What's going on, guys? It is Jake back at it again. So I think I'm gonna do a quick channeling, and then also I just got like a couple other random things that I thought I'd share. Probably shouldn't be making this video. I'm super tired. I think I have a cold. Got my tea with me. Just ready to go to sleep, and it's early. It's like 9 o'clock, so I probably just have a cold or something. I'm not really sure. So we'll see how this goes. But before the channeling, I was telling a couple people today, and this stuff has just like blown my mind, because even though it's one perspective, you know, like it's one side of a situation. I've been reading The Law of One, the raw material, and I know a lot of people, some of you guys have even probably read it, so you'll probably hear a couple things that you've already heard before. But basically, reading this, it's like 250 pages of just like reading channelings, basically. And the channelings have been giving off so much information that I think is so interesting that a lot of you guys would like to know. And it's really weird. About a week ago, I was in the astral. I had a vision, and it was really weird. Something was telling me to get this book, to read this, and I remember asking like who it was. And then I just got like, we are Ra, but it was like I saw this golden light that was like talking to me. It was almost like if you're looking and all you can see is like a filter of like a golden light, which is really bizarre. But anyways, you know, someone told me to get this book, so I've been reading this book, and it's like 250 pages, and I got it yesterday. Okay, I got it yesterday, and I'm already, let's see, I want to lose my page, so 126. I'm already like, you know, like halfway, most of the way done, because I just love this book and I can't get enough. This book is amazing. But anyways, it's really cool because it's almost like I can give you guys information that's like channeling right now, without channeling. So I think that's cool. That's cool to do. And like I said, you know, this is just one perspective. I'm not saying like this is 100% true, blah blah blah. But when I was reading this book, I was just getting these weird visions, almost like something was leading me on. So like there's some of these things that like I just have a feeling are real, but you know, who knows. So this is one thing though. It talks about the Men in Black. So I know a lot of people will channel them, or they have questions about them, and they're very mysterious, and you know, they're pretty negative. But this actually kind of like answers that in a way. So basically how this book goes, like, because I'm gonna read this like half page really quick, is you constantly are reading the whole time. It says questioner, like a Q&A, you know, like question and then answer. So that's how literally like every single page is in this. So questioner, are there any Confederation or Orion entities living upon the Earth and operating visibly among us in our society at this time? And then I am Ra. There are no entities of either group walking among you at this time. However, the Crusaders of Orion use two types of entities to do their bidding, shall we say. The first type is the thought form, the second a kind of robot. Questioner, could you describe the robot? And then Ra, the robot may look like any other being, it is a construct. Questioner, is the robot what is normally called the Men in Black? And then he says, this is incorrect. And then so the question is, who are the Men in Black? And so the Men in Black are a thought form type of entity which have some beingness to their makeup. They have certain physical characteristics given to them. However, their true vibrational nature is without third density vibrational characteristics, and therefore they are able to materialize and dematerialize when necessary. Are all of these Men in Black then used by the Orion Crusaders? And he says this is correct. So that's very, very interesting. I thought that was cool. And then, if I can find it. Okay, this is really interesting as well. A lot of people, obviously, you know, it makes sense. A lot of us were around during, you know, Lemuria and Atlantis. And so this goes into that as well. So I know it's kind of lame I'm reading this off, but I just think this is so cool. You know, it's like, I love this kind of information. It's very stimulating. So I was wondering about the advent of the civilizations of Atlantis and Lemuria, when they occurred and where did they come from. So it's like, you know, like what's their background kind of, and like what's like the difference in a way. Okay, let me try to make this short. Okay. The civilizations of Atlantis and Lemuria were not one but two. Let us first look at the Mu, however you want to pronounce entities, which is the Lemurian civilization. They were beings of a somewhat primitive nature, but those who had very advanced spiritual distortions. The civilization was part of this cycle, experienced early within the cycle at a time of about 53,000 of your years ago. It was helpful and harmless place, which was washed beneath the ocean during a readjustment of your sphere's tectonic plates through no action of their own. So it sounds like, they weren't like Atlantis, where Atlantis basically fell. And this tells you how they fell in a way. So they sent out those who survived and reached many places in what you call Russia, North America, and South America. And this I absolutely love because I connect a lot to Native Americans. The Indians of whom you come to feel some sympathy in your social complex distortions are the descendants of these entities. Like the other incarnates of this cycle, they come from elsewhere. However, these particular entities were largely from a second density planet which had some difficulty due to the age of its sun in achieving third density life conditions. This planet was from the galaxy Deneb, which I've never heard of, so that's really cool. The Atlantean race, which more people are probably into, was a very conglomerate, and I feel I'm mainly I feel Atlantean more than Lemurian, just for my own personal, Okay, so the Atlantean race was a very conglomerate social complex which began to form approximately 31,000 years ago in the pass of your space-time continuum illusion, which I won't get into now, but it was a slow-growing and very agrarian one until approximately 15,000 of your years ago. It reached quickly a high technological understanding which caused it to be able to use intelligent infinity in an informative manner. We may add that they use intelligent energy as well, manipulating greatly the natural influxes of the indigo or pineal ray from divine or infinite energy. Thus they were able to create life forms. This they began to do instead of healing and perfecting their own mind-body-spirit complexes, turning their distortions towards what you may call negative. Let's see if there's anything else. Approximately 11,000 of your years ago, the first of the what you call wars caused approximately 40% of this population to leave the density by means of disintegration of the body. The second and most devastating of the conflicts occurred approximately 10,821 years in the past, according to your illusion. This created an earth-changing configuration, and the large part of Atlantis was no more, having been inundated. 3 of the positively oriented of the Atlantean groups left this geographical locus before that devastation, placing themselves in the mountain areas of what you call Tibet, Peru, and Turkey. So that's really cool. That's really interesting. Let's see. Let me see, because I don't want to hold you guys up. If there's anything else. He was talking about the Maldeckians, the Maldecks, that planet that got destroyed and supposedly became the asteroid belt. He was saying that they ended up becoming the cavemen, and there's like 3 different types of Sasquatch beings. And so I haven't connected to this one, but the third one I have, like the thought form one. But basically, he said that they're actually like physical, I guess, which is really cool. But anyways, he said the Maldecks ended up becoming them, and he describes like how. So I'm gonna try to look for it. And okay, I'm actually here. Awesome. Okay, okay. Approximately 600,000 of your years ago, the then existing members of the Confederation were able to deploy a social memory complex and untie the knot of fear. Okay, so I kind of skipped a little bit. Basically, some shit went down with the Maldecks. Let me see really quick if I could. Okay, it's saying basically it was similar to what happened in Atlantis, and it gained much technological information and used it without care for the preservation of their sphere, following to a majority extent the complex of thought, ideas, and actions which you may associate with your so-called negative polarity or the service to self. So that's what I was going to get into with that Lannian thing. So the whole thing with like the law of one is basically saying that, you know, we are all one. How should I word this? It's kind of like we are all one. That's why, you know, I always say, which I didn't really realize it worked with this, is, you know, like don't like the planet's not going to evolve until people realize like I'm not going to hurt someone because I'm hurting myself. And realizing underneath we're all the same. And that's why, you know, obviously with the aliens being, it's like we're all the same. That's why I don't get why people give the reptilians a hard time. It's like inside they have the same essence as us. You know, we're all the same. Many of you guys have lived lives, you know, like me, as them. You know, so. But anyways, so let me get back to this. Okay, basically, so they had to. Okay, I'm not going to read all this because I know I'm kind of probably boring right now. So basically, the Maldeckian entity transformed into the 8 people on Earth, and they were given a place to continue their consciousness. Consciousness of these entities have always been third density. The alleviation mechanism was designed by the placement of the consciousness in second-dimensional physical chemical complexes, which are not able to be dexterous or manipulative to the extent which is appropriate to the working of the third density distortions of the mind complex. The whole book is written like this, so you got to read it slow. Okay, so with the Bigfoot thing, many of these entities were able to remove the accumulation of what you call karma, thus being able to accept a third density cycle within the third density body. Most of those beings so succeeding have incarnated elsewhere in the creation for the succeeding cycle in third density. As this planet reached third density, some few of these entities became able to join the vibration of the sphere in third density form. There remain a few who have not yet alleviated through the mind-body-spirit coordination of distortions the previous action taken by them. Therefore, they remain. And then the question, are these the Bigfoot people that you speak of? And then Ross says these are one type of Bigfoot. Then our human race is formed of a few who originally came from a Maldeck and quite a few who came from Mars. And that was a really cool thing too also, is that he was saying before we were here on Earth, we were actually at Mars. And then because shit went down basically, I'm not going to go back and read all of it, the outer, you know, living on the outside of the planet basically was inhabitable. So I guess we came here. And if you're questioning, you know, how did we come here? Because I was thinking that it's where he said in thought form. So, you know, don't think like all these ships came in just like, oh, we're going to transport you to Earth and you're going to start here, you know. Nothing like that. I mean, a lot of the things he talks about is basically like thought form stuff. But I don't know, this is an amazing book. Like, I seriously recommend you guys getting it because you're like reading channelings and it's so stimulating and very exciting. And I'm not going to get into it now. I'll probably do it in another video. But he basically also explains the pyramids and why they're there, and the reason for it, and basically why they're not like active now, in a way. So, and I actually took a picture of that page and I put it on my Facebook, so a couple people saw it, which is cool. Okay, so back to the other stuff. So, I just did a meditation. So it's 9:30 right now. I did a meditation from about like 8 to 9, so like an hour. And it's really weird because I told you guys I took a break. I was healing myself. I've been getting healthier. I'm raising my vibration. I've basically been doing things a little differently and just like more carefully and not like jumping into everything because I'm so excited and I can do this now. And I don't know if this book has something to do with it too, but it's like, I don't know, it's almost like the telepathic ability just like boosted up today. Like I was in meditation and things were just coming to me super, super fast without me like trying. Because usually I have to send, you know, intent out there. Because I'm the visual person. I'm a visual person. So I always, you know, visualize and see myself sending the energies out to certain places. And When I want to connect to the Arcturians, like one thing they taught me, Ivan, they told Ivan to tell me, and then he told me, and it works like amazingly. Is that, you know, in meditation, if you want to start getting stuff from them and connect to them, imagine in meditation, because once you guys, you know, get basically into that deep meditation where you almost are like going places, you know, it's like you can imagine going there, and then you like send the intent out and like try to meet halfway, and then you'll start seeing like symbols and things that come that like you're not, you know, you're not creating, you're not imagining. And then they'll give, you know, images, and you'll just start connecting to them easier. Basically, you're just like making, like, you're reaching out to connect. But I was doing that today, and then as soon as like a minute into it, I just heard like, you don't have to do that, you know. And I just was kind of like, what? Like, I was laughing. It was like, you don't have to do that, you know. And then I got an image of a feline Arcturian, and for the first time ever, I actually saw a female feline Arcturian, which is really cool, because I've only seen like the male before. I've seen him like 2 or 3 times, but yeah, I've never seen that before, so that was interesting. And I kind of like questioned myself at first, because I was like, okay, this is a little awkward. And so I tried again, and it was like, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, whoa. And then so I was connecting to her. I was just basically getting information about myself. A lot of the meditation was about myself. That's why I'm going to try to do a channeling, and it's probably going to be really quick, because the other being that I connected to, and it was really weird, I heard like, are you ready? You know, like, are you ready? Like, when I was going to sit down in meditation, I got an image of, I believe it's a Sirian energy, because I asked what energy, and that name just popped in my head. But I asked what energy, and it's another feline, but like not Arcturian, and he looked white. He looked white with like blue energy around him. I know it's really lame. Well, not lame, but a lot of you guys may not connect to it if you've ever seen from back in the day, like Dragon Ball Z, when they're Super Saiyan with the energy around them. I almost saw like this blue energy around him, basically. And then with these like really, really, really light blue eyes, like the sky, like just bright, you know. Which is really cool. So I'm going to try to connect to him. And then, what else did I connect to? I connected to the picture of, I'm not sure if it's an Atlantean, because I didn't get a connection, but that's just what I'm feeling it is. It was this, like, big, it was like this beautiful woman with this long, like, hair, but she was all green. And it wasn't my guy that I saw from the last video when I was like, you know, she's like right over here. It wasn't that, because that looks like, it's weird. That looks like a young person, and this looked like a full-grown, like, adult, older person. But I was just getting this weird Atlantean energy from her. And then I saw Ashira again, which was weird because, you know, I've been learning about the Anunnaki, and supposedly Ashura, that's how I learned to pronounce it. Supposedly Ashura was like the wife of like either an Anunnaki or like Yahweh, who people think was like Enlil, I think it was. I'm not too caught up on that, so I'm just kind of like hesitant sometimes connecting to that energy, because it's like the reputation behind it isn't positive. But I have never gotten anything negative, you know. Every time I've seen her, it was great, and she's kind of trying to get me to channel the feminine energies, which I just haven't gotten to because there's so many beings, you know. So I just haven't had time. So I'll eventually get to it. But what else? Oh yeah, this kind of like tweaked me out a little bit. So because I was reading in this book, where I was saying that the people who control this solar system are like a council. I think it was either the Council of Saturn or like a council on Saturn. So in meditation, I purposely tried to connect to that, and I connected to something that did not want me to connect, and it kind of not freaked me out, but I kind of like woke myself up, you know. So I was trying to connect. I was imagining going out, and I was imagining going to Saturn and buy the rings, because supposedly that's where they are. As we said in the book. And that was only, you know, this book was made only like 30 years ago or something, so I'm sure, you know, that's just to them. I mean, there's no time, but I'm sure It's not a long time, you know what I'm saying? It's like a blink of an eye, so they're probably still doing I don't know, they're probably still doing their thing. But anyways, I tried to connect to a council on like Saturn or something, and I saw this big room with almost when you think of like the secret government meetings, you know, it was like a big room with a big table, and I saw like I don't know, probably like 10 different types of beings, but there were like, you know, like 50 of them there, like all around this table. And I'm talking like, you know, reptilian, Zeta, Arcturian, feline, almost looked like a Men in Black type of like human-esque, more, you know, like a humanoid type of person. But I connected to that, and then I saw like one of the beings look at me, and I kind of like went like jolted. But it was weird. It wasn't like me from being scared. It's not like someone like, you know, would jump in front of you and you're like, oh, you know, like something like pushed my energy out, you know. So that was really bizarre. So I was probably stupid to connect to that. And then I think my higher self was talking to me, because as soon as I got out of that and I was like, whoa, I for some reason said to myself, you're playing with fire, kid. So I was like, ooh, like I gotta be careful. So yeah, I mean, that's it for, you know, for today. I'm going to do the quick channeling, see if anything comes. I'm extremely exhausted. I have no energy, so we'll see. I really hope so. Also, one thing I've been doing, because, you know, like I said, I've been doing things differently. A lot of people like to have crystals and things around when they're channeling, and I've been having the amethyst, and right now I have my lapis for the for just communication, basically. And then I have the clear quartz crystal, you know, to just like kind of stabilize the energies. I got my cool pendulum, amethyst pendulum. And then some people are probably gonna be like, oh, that's sorcery right here. What are you doing with this? I don't scribe, but I have my black crystal ball. So I actually have one. So that's pretty cool. And these things are like really not that expensive. I got this online with this, and it has a little cool fuzzy thing right there, you know. But I got all of this for it was like $45, which is really not bad, and it's black obsidian, so definitely helps. I think it's black obsidian. I think that's what it is. I remember I was looking up scrying stuff when I found out that I had a past life as John D, and I was connecting to him. So I kind of went in this like D phase, and I learned and began to realize that, you know, he didn't have the abilities like this, but he used that to try to get the same outcome, basically. So I got that just for the fun of it, you know, just because I connected to that. Okay, it's been long enough. Let's get to this channeling, and then I'm gonna call it a night, guys. Move this around. Alright, thank you. And let's see what comes through. Oh, and before I forget, because I want to get in trouble for, like, you know, getting credit or whatever for this book, I listened to this earlier. I should probably say who this is written by, just because it's safer, you know. Because I was reading this stuff off. So by Don Elkins, Carla Ruckert, and James Allen McCarthy. Whitford Press. So, okay. I don't know. Because I'm in college, I'm always, you know, having to cite sources, so I'm like, ooh, I use something, I should probably, you know, give it credit, so. Okay, alright. Which, yeah, so, my last day, of the class I just ended was Tuesday, and we all basically, like, the teacher's super spiritual. We just do spiritual stuff, and it's not a spiritual course. I literally, from synchronicity, got lucky. Like, I talked to this guy about channeling. He talks about dimensions. The first day of class, for 3 hours, he showed us pictures of trees, and and in a circle for 3 hours, we had to talk about how we felt about each picture, which is like, yeah, it's ridiculous, but I was sitting there like, this is so cool. And then he played an Indian flute for like an hour and a half in the dark, and he lit a candle. I'm like, dude, for like a college class, this is pretty awesome. But Tuesday, people were basically opening up. We had to do like a presentation, so I did it on the alchemy book, on the alchemy. But people, and I went like the second to last, and we were there for the full 4 hours from 6 to 10 p.m. Tuesday nights. And then so at like 9:50 or 9:45, I ended up going, and basically everybody went, and people were like crying, and I'm obviously not gonna get into their personal stuff, but people really like opened up about themselves. And in a cohort where you're with the same group of people for 15 months straight with all the classes, nothing changes. You gotta learn, and we started this in September. You gotta learn to know each other and trust each other. So I ended up talking about all this stuff. And it was just funny because like I kind of got the reactions I was expecting, but whatever. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I opened up and I was like, yeah, I'm starting to do channeling stuff and connect to this and that. And then so people were asking about it, and this one girl like was relating it to Scientology a little bit, I think. And it's it's not Scientology, but whatever, no big deal. So yeah, it was just really interesting. I basically opened up about all this stuff, which I just feel like most people wouldn't, but I really am so dedicated to this, and like this is what I want to do. It was really funny. I was like, since we're all talking about trust here, I was like, I'm gonna push all your guys' envelopes when it comes to trust. But some people were like, that's really cool, and this one lady was like, hey, like I would love to hear more. So I'm like, awesome. But then, she was like, oh, well, I'm atheist. So she's like, I don't believe in anything, so it's not going to bother me. So, like, that's another thing. But, yeah, I just thought that'd be funny to talk about. So, all right, let's get into this channel. Greetings, this is Kuntaro with the Sirians. We greet you, we welcome you. This message is about vibrating at a higher level and using your potential, for we see many of you are aware of these things, and you question some things, but then you kind of put it off in the back of your head and go on with your life, and you kind of forget about it, or you think about these things, but you're not feeling with your heart. Yes, it is true that all of you are channelers. All of you are channeling all the time, just in a lower rate of vibration and a lower frequency, but it is because you do not realize it, that you are not believing you have these abilities, which is understandable. But what we are asking you to do is to do more, because many like to sit and listen and they enjoy these things, but all of you have this potential. All of you have this inside, and some of you are not digging in. Most of you are not digging inside yourselves deep enough to discover this, and you can, and you will. We would love for the vibrations of humanity to rise so we can, even though we are always together, for separation is the illusion. Separation is just your false reality. We would like to feel closer together with you once again. And those were marvelous times. Yes, right now we are on our worlds, but we connect to you always. And if only you can see what we see and what we send to this one. Ah, yes, the beautiful images of seeing your multi-dimensional vibrations and your information fields, and they're coming to us, and you're sharing information, and we're reaching back out to you, and it's almost like seeing a clear or a golden ray, like a beautiful angel connect to you, and it is you, but you do not understand. And that is what is so troubling. For yes, you will reach this potential, but you could reach it. You could almost reach it now. Not in types of ascension and raising the vibration of your planet, but before that happens, you need to raise and realize what is inside you, the God inside you, the system that works inside you. For we are inside you. For we are you. You are us. You are our lower dimensional selves. And so, of course, we would love you with the utmost unconditional love that we can ever give. But you need to stand up. You need to take the initiative. We do not want to come off as demanding or threatening, but we need to awaken what is inside you, and because we are all so connected, we know how to use this, and we know how to get the rise in you that you need. But of course, living in your third dimension and the societies and the norms and the constant negative vibrations, for there are horrible and negative energy swarming your planet. If you looked at your planet from afar, you would see even a larger globe of just darkness and redness and negativity, and it's just constantly just beating the planet. So we understand where you are coming from, for we have been there and we connect with you. But it is our jobs to help you rise, help you come back to where you once were, help you reunite with us. If you sit down with the clearest and purest intent of yourself, that is all you need. For all of this is very simple. If you sit down with the purest intent and you ask of us to come in your forms of communication, in telepathic thought patterns and images and visuals and feelings that you all already have, we will, but you have to give us that permission. And many know this, but many do not practice this. Yes, it would be wise before you go to sleep every night to give your intentions out, positive intentions, for intentions come before anything, doesn't it? And intentions come before your nonverbal behaviors in your society. Yes, it is easy to pick up nonverbal behaviors before verbal, but the intent is already sent before those. For energy beings who know and work with energy can already pick that up, and that is each and every one of you. Send your intent out before you go to bed. Feel the love, even if you have to imagine it at first. Yes, there is a reason why there is the fake it till you make it mentality in a way. Do not get that twisted or turned around. But feel the love. Imagine the love. You are given this imagination and these daydreams to be able to connect, to use it to get to where you need to go. It is like when a rocket needs the energy of the material world's fuels to rise up into the atmosphere and up into space, and it does not need it anymore, for it is lifted and it is carried away. And that is exactly what you will do. We simply ask that you be and know yourselves, and when you do this, you will love yourselves, for everything is love. So all you have to do is love yourselves more and be open. And this is very positive. This is very positive because there is nothing that you have to fear. For all you are is love and pure intentions. We are seeing that there is another message that needs to be spoken. For now, that is all. We thank you, and we will connect with you, and we will be there with you shortly. Not in physical form, but in all other forms. Welcome us into your light, for that is all you are, and these lights will unite. Blessings, and we go in peace, and we know that the ones listening will go in peace as well, for we see the faith in humanity. To our lower dimensional selves, namaste. Wow. Okay. Whoa. Sorry, my energy's off. Wow, that felt emotional. Like, I'm not tearing up, but I feel that, like, emotion in my body. I feel that must have been good. I don't remember. I gotta rewatch this video. Kind of lost track there, but I feel something meaningful, so I'm gonna check it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will try to be back tomorrow. I'm not sure. We will see. I have no reason to not be here tomorrow, so I mean, you know, I'll try. I'm going to try to finish this book, and then so if there's anything else that I find, I will definitely let you guys know. I think it's very important to share, so I'm trying to think of what I'm going to name this, because I did like the channeling, and then I read off stuff. I don't know what I'm going to name this video, so we'll see. Alright guys, it's 10 o'clock, so I hope YouTube does not, you know, take so long to upload. The other day I had a video that was like only 20-30 minutes or something. It took an hour and 45 minutes to load. It was like something didn't want me to upload, basically. So it was the last channeling I did, the one that was like 37. Yeah, and I had two videos that ended up on the same times, and I looked that up because I know about the angel numbers, and it was really weird. It was, I think, 37, and then I had another video, I think it was one of the vision videos, and it was 55. And then so I looked up what that meant on a couple like spiritual things, and it said that that is a sign from the ascended masters and from your angels, basically saying that they're being supportive of what you're doing, and they're being supportive of your direction at this current moment. So they're being supportive of this, and they're really happy. So that's awesome. Alright guys, well, just wanted to say that, so have a good night. I will probably be back tomorrow or Saturday. I'm exhausted, so I'm probably going to get some sleep, so alright guys, love y'all, peace.